passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Muroff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
Say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the out pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, and
it's all about the entertainment.
So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Season 3 of the JPB European Tour. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Zach Sweeney, as always, this season, who will be here every Friday, joining us on this epic journey of racing. Well, what more can we say? We're kicking off round 1 at Catalunya here this evening as well. Before we start heading into round 2 next week, we are going to the Redbull Ring Grand Prix circuit. Then round 4, we're off to Imola GP circuit. Round 4, we're going to Zandvoort. Round 5, off to the Nurburgring. Round 6 is the Motorland Aragon outer circuit. Round 7, Monza without the first chicane. That's going to be an interesting one. Round 8 will be Magny. Round 9 will be Jerez, and round 10 will be Zolder. We've done the British Tour. We've done the American Tour. We're now on the European leg of our journey, and where will next season take us? Let's have a chat with Zach Sweeney about what's going to happen. Season 3. Zach, welcome in there, sir. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. Obviously my first commentary of the year, so obviously Happy New Year, and of course hope everyone had a very lovely holiday period. But it's time to get back into some beautiful sim racing, and of course these TCRs, which I think was a good idea to sort of postpone the season until the new year. But yeah, we get to kick it off. We've done obviously the UK tour, we did the American tour over the course of last season. Now we get to take a nice little trip through Europe, some of the best race circuits across the globe.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome in, Summer Farmer States. Thank you so much for joining us here. But before Phil across the pond, now it's going to be an interesting one this season. Lots of new drivers. We've got the likes of Sim Racing Norway's Kim Andre Bjorklund this season as well. We've got obviously Stephen Van Kampen from the Netherlands. We got Cooper Akers, who has joined us from Sham Racing from America. We've got the likes of our very own Dan Pibbles is joining us here as well. He's part of the Sim Racing Sweden Esports Academy team. Then we've got the Paolo Bram, the Italian, here as well. Chris van der Linden from Sim Racing Sweden Esports Academy team. And Nick Kirsten from the Sim Racing Sweden Esports team. So we've got a mixture of nationalities, which seems to go quite well with the European theme we've got running this season.
To be fair, yeah, it does, which is nice. Obviously, you see quite a lot in sim racing that they have, quite a precedence on one nationality or whatever. Like, obviously, which is understandable for sort of different regions and such. You'll only have people from the UK or people from the US or whatever. But yeah, we got quite a few, and a fair few of them are European. We obviously we can see a lot of UK flags, but we've got Bjorklund, who's obviously from Norway. A lot of people from the Netherlands. We obviously have the Italian Paolo Breme, and the Scotsman, of course, that everyone loves of Scott Malcolm. He's a very lovable person to come and have a chat with in the old interview room. And then obviously we have one person from the US, of course, of Cooper Akers. So there is a little bit of a diverse nationality outlook, which is it's good. I think it's good to celebrate across the globe and for all these different people to showcase their talents.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to fully see some great racing from all of these guys as Dan Peoples does go on to pole. Adam Dalmont, they're going to be coming over the line as well. He's taken pole position on a 154.987 here this evening. Dan Mould is back joining us on a 155.554. Nick Kirsten's in fourth now, as Stu Gibbons just goes and puts it in third place. AM and Pros, of course. Pros are in the blue, AMs are in the red. So if you see an AM and a Pro, then you know what they are. We've got our returning Carl Jacqueline here, Mr. Reliable, shall we call him, as of last season. That did a stellar job once more as well. Moved up to the pros this season. Going to be an interesting one for Carl Jacqueline.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, obviously, how he gets on, because we saw with was it Jay Corley who won the UK Tour, of course, took obviously that step up into the pros. He wasn't last every race by any means. He did, on occasion mix it up, but he was by no means in that championship fight, and it is a big step up to take from the AMs to the pros. And you might be thinking, well, why are you saying that? Almost every week you talk about how good the AMs are and how much they are, able to mix it up with the pros. Yeah, but do it on a week-by-week basis. Over the course of the entire 10 weeks that we've got, can you match those pros? Can you score those points, and can you mix it up across, obviously, not only the qualifying races, but also those reverse grid races that test your racecraft and test your experience? Is going to be difficult, of course, of a step up, but I think it's doable. I think it can be done, and it is possible to be done, because consistency, especially in a bloodbath at times of reverse grid races, especially in touring cars, that's all you need is some consistency.
Yeah, I do fully agree. I think you've got to be consistent to score points. Now, they have got to score points. They've got to complete 75% of the race distance. There will be one fast repair incident drive through at 17, and every 5 after that as well. Top 15 reverse grid for race 2, so be aware that they will have a reverse grid, and they will get a point for pole position for only of heat 1 and the fastest lap of heat 1 and heat 2. So the fastest lap will be given in heat 1 and heat 2. They're going to score 15 points for heat 1 for the winner, and then 25 for heat 2. So that's how we're going to keep it this season alone. I think this season's going to be absolutely epic. We've got 21 cars on track this at the moment. There are more signed up. I know some couldn't make it here this evening. The likes of JB Deju couldn't make it as well, and we've seen JB previously, who's done a absolute stellar job. But the top 4 at the moment: Adam McNally, Paddy Faulkner, Dan Mould and Adam Delmont. It's going to be a very interesting one at the front of that pros here this season, Zach. I don't think it could be as clear cut as we think, but I also don't think it's going to be. I think there's going to be a good mix of battles all the way through.
Yes. Obviously, looking at that, that front lot, I can firmly say I can see. I can make a case for all of them to win a championship.
I agree.
Obviously, with Delmont, hopefully he's taken that Christmas break to reset. I'm sure sim racing was his top priority, and he was itching to get back to the sim after all that time with friends and family as such. It was his top priority. That's all he cared about, was practicing for the new year. But he needs to take a step up, and obviously on the back end of last year, phenomenal driver is Adam Delmont. He's just proved that with a sensationally quick lap time that topped Paddy Faulkner, who momentarily got himself to pole position, but he lacked that cutthroat, merciless attitude that you need, especially in touring cars, to win a championship. He's got consistency, he's got pace, he just needs that brute strength in order to win. Then with Paddy Faulkner, I think Paddy is the opposite of Adam Delmont. They're sort of both sides of this seesaw of extremes. Paddy Faulkner, very cutthroat, very aggressive, will really stick his nose in, but maybe just needs to tone it down a little bit, find that consistent groove, find a little bit of extra pace over the course of the championship. And then I'd say you've got like sort of Dan Mould, who's a nice median in between the two. So we've obviously got 3 incredibly talented drivers that are all very, very close on, on raw talent, and you stack them up side by side, probably not going to be much between them, but they do it in very different ways.
That's the question. Is it going to work out with some of the aggressive, obviously the aggression of Paddy Faulkner? We've seen Dan Mould at times be aggressive. Adam Delmont not quite got the aggression, but he is consistent. He did struggle at certain points as well, coming through on the reverse grid. So it's going to be interesting to see what his mindset's going to be coming in. I think I'm really interested to see what Delmont's going to be. One of the people I also want to keep an eye out for is John Brown. They've swapped cars this year. They're in the Audi. He was in, I believe he was in the Veloster last season. So for him to come into the Audi, he's put it in 4th place as well. He's got the talent. He's got the abilities that he can have the pace. When he's not John Brown in it, like he did at Knock Hill, and shot off. Do you know, he's got it all, hasn't he? He can do it. And I think for John, he just needs to be, I don't know if consistent's the word. I don't know if it's calm, collective. I'm not sure what it is with John. But he can battle, and he can be there when he needs to. And I'm hoping this season he comes on strong and does a stellar job, because I really do believe somewhere in John Brown there is pace, there is ability, there is a championship contender, and I'm hoping he comes out and locks it up. One of the other championships, we've obviously got the Pro and AMs, the AMs. Now, obviously, we've got the new guys in here as well. Dan Peoples, obviously, as we know, we've come alongside Dan. But we've got the likes of Scott Malcolm. We've got the like of Stuart Gibbons as well. We've also got the new boys of Paolo Brem coming in. Cooper Akers. We've got the returning Kev Aylett as well. So there's a lot of mixture. There's going to be a lot of battles, I think, across this. This isn't just clear cut in each group. I think there could be some very nice, tidy surprises here this season. And I think this could be one of the best seasons we've had in touring cars, because it is brewing to be epic.
I agree, and obviously I think the most important thing about this season is the fact that it's a European Cup, and it's not limited to the UK or the USA, because don't get me wrong, both of these last seasons have been amazing, but you'll notice the Americans have a very distinct way of making circuits. Those in Britain, for the most part, have a very distinct way of making circuits. I mean, Donny, Alton Park, Knock Hill, they all have the same feel to them. They are all brilliant circuits, but they all have the same feel to them. Sort of the same with sort of Laguna Seca and Road Atlanta, that sort of vein. But with it being European, we sort of stay in, you know, the same theme of sort of one geographical area. But we go through so many different cultures, so many different designs and concepts. We go to Imola, Catalunya, Magny, Hungaroring, so many different tracks with all this different bits of character and sort of, you know, the engineering that's gone into making them brilliant. I think is going to make this an incredible season, because it's going to reward different drivers at different points. And we spoke about different driving styles already. We've touched on the fact that Delmont, Mould, and the likes all have their own special niche that they all specialise to. And I think each of them are going to have those boxes ticked over the course of this season.
Yeah, do you know what? I think you're right. I think it was tough deciding tracks for the European leg, you know, because the likes of the circuits that we've been to continuously, you know, I've been to Spa more times than I care to imagine, you know, and trying to sift through some of the tracks and come up with a track list of what we have got here. You know, the likes of the Red Bull Ring, I think, was a given. It's on most calendars. I think the TCRs around the Red Bull Ring could be absolutely epic. You know, and for me to be out and trying to pick the tracks, and I was speaking to Kev and saying, what are we going to do? You know, I wanted to run that Motorland Aragon outer circuit loop. I think that outer loop circuit is going to be absolutely incredible. It's the one without the hairpin. I believe me and you have been there before. I don't think we did the outer. I think we did the touring car layout on that one, but we've got the likes of Magny Cours. Yeah, I'm not a lover of Magny Cours, and I've never really hid that fact. The same with Jerez. You know, we go to Zolder. We're going to finish at Zolder on 3 15-minute races for a season finale. So they will have 3 15-minute races to contend with at Zolder to close the season out. And there's a lot that could go wrong across this season with the various different track layouts. We've got some of the tighter tracks. We've got some of the more open tracks. You know, we've got a very... Well, Monza without the first chicane, we all know that what could go wrong there. It could be absolutely horrendous at times.
Yes, I remember, well, it must have been about just over a year ago now, on the United Touring Championship that we did, of course, quite a while ago. and me and Biggles, we did a touring car race at Monza without the chicanes, and it went exactly as you'd expect, because you've got 20 odd cars screaming their way towards the Roger at top speed off the start, all of them packed very close together. And to be fair, the altered layout of Monza, you're not going into the Della Roger as it is sort of normally with a tight left and a tight right. It is a little bit more open, and you can carry some more speed through. It's less enticing to go for a move, but it's still chaotic. It's still very, very dangerous, and I think we'll make it a ton of fun. So all in all, I'm raring to go for these 2 races. Barriers.
And
Can't go off track if you're in a wall.
Yeah, something. It just needs something, doesn't it? Because it does absolutely drive me crazy. So, yeah, a proper reskin of the limits. That would be ideal as well. So, but let's get this up. Oh, yeah, but the track limits drive me crazy. But here we go. The lights are going to be coming on now as well. We're going to be up and running. Season 3 is going to be kicking off once more. Adam Dalmont is your man out in front here. He's taken that whole shot down into turn 1. We've got Dan Mould sitting up alongside Nick Kirstens as they're coming into turn 1 once more. Who's going to be able to take it? Who's going to get it off the line? Nick Kirstens is going to try and battle Dan Mould around the outside. Is he going to give Dan a little bit of trouble here as well? You've got to give him room, Mr. Mould, on that inside line. You can see it happening there as well. Stuart Gibbons almost made an absolute flyer with Adam McNally tucked in at 4th place, up 1 at the moment there, Zach. They all seem to have got away cleanly. No major real dramas and a few position changes to go to boot.
Yeah, good little start. Obviously, you can see 2 wide, 2 deep going into turn number 4. A couple of SRL cars flying high. Dan Mould just about retaining that 3rd place, but Nick Kirsten's fighting it all the way toward turn number 5. Of course, the perfect start for Adam Dalmont, who's now clear. Bit of contact as they run their way through, and the 69 of Kirsten's is forced wide. Dan Mould forces his way through into 2nd place. This fight for second is going to be spicy.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think Nick Kirstens is going to give it up that easy. I think Kirstens a bit more aggression in him. I think he can go. There was a big one at the back. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie me. Who was that at the back of the grid? Was it who I thought it was? I've got a funny feeling that it may have John Brown. I think is that
John Brown.
Yeah. Oh, no. It was going off before that. That's Stuart Gibbons. Oh, Gibbo. Oh.
And then Malcolm there as well.
Yeah, but that kicked off with Paddy Faulkner, I think, as well. How did this all come about? Oh, there was contact with that SRL. I believe that was Adam McNally. There was contact with McNally, put Gibbo out of shape, and then unfortunately Gibbo into Faulkner, into Brown. So kicked off early there, Zach. Some big boys already. We talked about this man. We talked about John Brown, whether or not he was going to have it here this evening. And, well, that sums up his race evening, I think, already in race 1.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, John Brown, he's by no means a slow driver. But there's a crucial element that we always miss out, sort of the infinity stones of sim racing. And it's just the forgotten one, is luck. You need luck. Right, there's no 2 ways about it. You need to be able to work through your season. You can't win a championship purely based on skill. course, you need it. It's an ingredient. But if you're not lucky at some point, you know, your rival having a crash or you making your way through an incident like the McQueen style, you're not going to win a championship if you're not at least a little bit lucky. And unfortunately for John Brown, he's not. I think that's proved it right there.
Yeah.
He's just going about his business, and a car reverses onto the track into the side of him.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know. I don't want to sit here and say, yes, Stuart Gibbo should have definitely held his brakes. But I don't know if Gibbo thought if he goes backwards, he'll get out a lot better here as well as Van Kampen and Carl Jacqueline. Whoa, Jacqueline, Carl, hold it. Well, that was just about a save and a century there as well. Paolo Brem putting Kim Andre Bjortland under a lot of pressure with Adam McNally. Got Dan Peoples for company here as well. We said battles are going to happen here, Zach, and they are happening. Look at these groups of cars. Bjortland, Brem, Kampen, Aylett, Jacqueline there as well, trying to go up the inside of Fraser Garrett. He did just make it through this time around. And then we've got the likes of Dek Crowther sitting there waiting as well. A very Honda-dominated field this season. That as well. A lot of people have come out in the Honda.
Yeah, and who was it complaining last season? Was it CRG complaining about the Honda? Clearly a quick car, but then you'll see the stragglers, the likes of John Brown in the Audi RS3, and then obviously Scott Malcolm and such in the Hyundai Veloster or the Elantra, whichever one they obviously prefer to choose. And respect to him. They're going for a car that's not conventional. Side by side here, by the way, it's Kim Andre Bjorkman trying to find his way past Paolo Brem. It's the Hyundai on the right-hand side overtaking the Honda Civic going into turn number 1. Should be a fairly easy affair for the Norwegian. You can see, I think Van Kampen looking a little bit spicy in the background, trying to, of course, find his way past. But all in all, a fairly tidy move. But for the most part, it's not done yet. If he goes around the outside of turn 3 in a front-wheel drive car, fair play, Paolo Brem for at least giving that a go.
Yeah, he's giving it a go as well. Let's not forget this is an AM versus a pro here with another pro behind a Van Kampen trying to do the job once more. Paolo Brem, oh, excuse me, is not giving up that outside line there, Zach. He's giving it a good old go. He's trying to now going to have the inside as he drops down into turn 5. Is he going to be able to make it through? He's not this time around, Paolo Brem. But I tell you what, some of these AMs are giving it a good old mix up with some of the pros.
Yeah, can't complain with this. Hopefully it's the theme for the entirety of the season because, that's getting a little bit cutthroat going into the chicane. Small bit of contact in the end, and it's caused a little bit of a Constantino effect. There you can see, I think, Fraser Garrity trying to find his way past Carl Jacqueline, who's now going to be forced to go to the outside of turn number 9. He has been able to do that quite nicely, using that outside momentum. Great respect. Given, of course, it does take 2 to tango. Fraser Garrity now trying to look to go to the outside of Jacqueline. Who is doing fairly well inside the top 10, but an up and under from Fraser Garrity squeezes the gap, and well, it's not done yet, of course, but he's he's given himself a fighting chance.
It definitely has. He's got Carl Jacqueline alongside him at the moment. There is Jacqueline. I think Jacqueline's just squeezing him on that outside line. Once more is him as well. You've got to leave him room, Carl. 2 by wide here, going around the final corner of this. It's now going to be a drag race, straight drag down into turn 1. Garrity on the right. Here comes Crowther. He wants to get in as well. They're going to send it 3 wide down into turn 1 for the opening round on lap 4. 13 minutes on the clock here, and an absolute stellar job. Is this going to work, Zach? Well, Jacqueline turned around and said, I am not having none of that. I am backing out of it. But now, for Carl Jacqueline, he's got Chris Barnes having some as well.
Well, they do say nice guys finish last, and well, in this case at the moment it's looking to be 13th. Look at that, Barnes squeezing his way past Fraser Garrity. It is actually going to allow Carl Jacqueline to rejoin the fight. Is he going to make it 3 wide into turn 4? Please don't. He's going to stay firm on the inside. But of course, Garrity trying to go the long way around. We've got a very, very spicy 6-way fight for this this fight inside the top 10. Nicely done indeed. Inside line once more for Garrity. Jacqueline just trying to find his way through. Still 2 wide, by the way, between the 2 just ahead of him. But Jacqueline, I think, in that exchange was far too nice.
From Jacqueline's point of view, and I think Carl's done the right thing. I think he backed out just to make sure that he managed to stay on track. And one of Carl's things that we talk about with Carl Jacqueline is his consistency to manage his surroundings, his racecraft, his ability to manage that around him. And I think Carl there just said, no, I'm not going it. However, he has nearly outbraked himself, as I really big him up, and then unfortunately he nearly breaks himself. But Carl Jackley, he manages traffic rather well, and he managed the pros last season. This time he is a pro, so how is he going to manage the AMs around him? Because there's some quick AMs around him.
They are, and of course they were the people that he was racing, this time last season. So maybe it's familial to him. Maybe there are a couple of people around him that he knows and are used to, and that sense of familiarity is always very useful when it comes to battling. You know which fights you can and can't win as such. Like in F1, for example, with Max Verstappen, everyone knows that if Max is in your mirrors, he's going for a move. So people know to give a little bit of leeway. People know just to, let him go. But say if it was Max Verstappen on, say, Guan Yu Zhou or whatever, he then knows through familiarity that he can get an overtake done really easily because he's done it time and time again. He knows that he'll be given the room as such. I think it's a similar sort of situation for Jackley. He's a wise head, right? That's how he was able to take himself to Amgori last season, because of that consistency, because of knowing which fights to and to not go for. That is going to be a huge asset to him. But going from 10th to 13th in the span of 3 corners probably isn't the best way to prove how good you are. Good racecraft, but it has just given him a little bit of a stump in this race so far.
Yeah, I think he's just got to basically now, for Carl Jackley, sit back and realise, okay, well, this is it. This is the situation. I've got to get this back up and running. I've got to get this moving. I've got to settle in and maybe be a bit more aggressive. He knows who he's mixing it up around him with. He hasn't got the runs this time. He hasn't got the nice straightforward situation for Carl Jackley. He's got to, without a shadow of a doubt, start getting his elbows out and be a little bit more aggressive. The problem is, with being more aggressive becomes more mistakes, though, Zach. It becomes more problems around him. It gives him more of an issue, and I think he maybe sitting back thinking, actually, I want to try and finish, but at the same time can't afford to do that in a way where he ends up losing the positions he just has. He's got to fight more than what he is at the moment.
Yeah, I think over the course of the season, it's going to be an asset to him. That consistency is going to be good. But each race at face value, he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. He needs to search for those points, be less of a pushover as such, and go for it. We always talk about cutthroatness, and to win an AM championship, that's great. Fair play to him. He's earned his place. He's gotten himself into the pros. But it's a different kettle of fish. The pros, they're ruthless, especially when it comes to fighting with the AMs, because there is a hierarchy, right? Yeah, the AMs can mix it up, but the pros know they're pros, and they expect the AMs to be behind them, so they're going to make sure the AMs are behind them. Jackley gives them a bit too much respect, I think, and just needs to just get his elbows up. Just send the move, go for the gap, be committed in yourself, have confidence in yourself and your ability, because he's got it. It's there. He just needs to go for it.
Yeah.
We talk about this. It might not be his intention to be this pusher. He might just be not as quick here at Catalunya. He might be able to improve over the course of the season. And again, it is a big change for him. Let's not forget, a big change in sort of the mentality you have to have as a race car driver. It's almost like in multi-class going from a GT3 to a prototype.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree, and I think Jackley's going to have a big old situation with him this season as well. He's got to learn, try and fight. He's got to learn to get his elbows out, mate. Otherwise, he is going to struggle. Now, this is an interesting fact that I've just been sent. This man, Fraser Garrity, this is Fraser's first league race after winning SRL, who, of course, we took over the 2 seasons ago. This is his first league race after winning SRL's last winner on the AMs. So for Fraser Garrity, it's been, oh dear, a long old time.
A while
since he's been in the car, and he's now back here this evening as well, doing a great job, sitting 7th in the class, 12th overall. We've got Gary McFarlane under pressure from John Brown, as John Brown just goes through there. Carl Jackley again fighting it out once more, and he's going to have to see how he can get on here and see how he does, because I can tell you one thing, the people around him, the likes of Paddy Faulkner, are not going to go easy on him here. 7 minutes remaining once more. Their current on the lap times are 1:55 here, Zach. Not quick, but it's Barcelona, it's Catalunya, and that's probably kind of the lap times we expect.
Yeah, it's a long circuit for TCRs. Obviously for F1 they can do it in more like a minute 10 or whatever, but obviously these guys are a lot slower. So yeah, I'd say that is about right. Grand Prix circuits typically to be around sort of a minute 40, 2 minutes. That's wide from Chris Barnes, though. That is going to be a huge invite to Fraser Geraghty, who's dusting off the cobwebs. He's going to send the move into turn number 9. It's a very brave one to make. Chris Barnes, though, equally trying to keep his foot in. Of course, the long way round, we've got an inter-class battle happening between these two, of course. And well, let's see who's going to be the one to come out on top. It sort of sparked a bit of a fight in the background as well. Carl Jacklin going for an almighty send on the inside. Beautiful stuff.
Oh, look, Paddy Faulkner went as well. It was Geraghty and Barnes, and now it's Faulkner and Jacklin in the front of this line here once more. So an absolute stellar job. I can tell you what, Carl Jacklin, take a bow, dear sir. He absolutely sent it. He's come from a long way back there as well, did Carl Jacklin, and he made it through. So great job from Jacklin. But boy, oh boy, did he come from a long way, Zach. That's the thing with Carl. He literally, look how far back he is. He has no right.
He didn't mean to do that, I don't think. I think it was more, I'm side by side with this guy. I want to outbrake him. Oh no, I've completely missed the corner. How he got that stopped, I do not know. His left foot has just gone through the floor to get that stopped. And fair play. Also very argy-bargy between these guys. The fight continues, of course. But, well, yeah. Good thing these guys got ABS, I guess.
It is, yeah, absolutely stellar job. Good evening, John O'Cook, who said, hello, handsome. I don't think he's talking about me there, Zach. I think he's probably having a chat about you. Barnsley's under pressure now. He's got JB coming up right beside him in that Audi, that number 26 machine. There's Fraser Geraghty in front of us. Round now we go. The left-hander of turn 5 dropping down under the bridge on that run down into 6. JB did make it through there. He's being flashed by Chris Barnes. I'm not really sure why Barnsley's flashing the lights. I think that might be just a hello John Brown, but Chris Barnes clearly felt aggrieved about something, because obviously he was on the lights flashing. But an absolute stellar battle for these guys as they go running down into turn 10. Of course, it's the second part of turn 10, not the first turn, and it is the second turn in there as well. Nick Kirsten's now under pressure from Adam McNally. We've not seen much of these front guys at the moment here, Zach. They have slightly spread out as Adam Dalmont is out in front by about 1.8 seconds. He's opened gaps on Dalmont. 154.76 for Adam Dalmont. 153 though, 6.4 for Dalmont. So I'm guessing he's made a mistake somewhere, Zach.
Yeah, well, here we go, side by side. This is the fight for the podium. Kirsten's fighting for it. McNally, of course, wants it on the inside of turn number 1. He is going to force the Dutchman wide, but Kirsten's holds firm. It's now going to be a tough task, though, to go the long way round of turn 3. Then you've also got Kirsten's fellow countryman of Dan Paples just in behind, but look at this. Great respect given. Kirsten's keeps his foot in. Again, though, he's going to have to go to the outside as turn 4 is another right-hander and quite a long one at that. Inside, of course, for McNally, who breaks ever so slightly later. Can he just edge himself to the edge of the second contact? And now they're going to spark a 3-wide battle.
Oh, Peebles is wanting to get a piece as well. Oh, McNally, where were you going? This is the Academy and the Pro Swede theme here as well with Peebles and Kirstens. And now, unfortunately for McNally, he went from battling Kirstens to now trying to catch up with Dan Peebles. So an absolutely stellar job there from Peebles. Whether or not McNally feels he's got the right to be there, I don't really feel that's your issue, to be fair. You're racing them all on track. And as we know, you've got to race what's in front of you. And for Dan Peebles, he races them as well. Chaos Druid in YouTube chat. JP, you handsome man. See? That was directed at me that time there, Zach, as well. So thank you very much for that. Good evening, Tom Woodcock, as well. But 3 minutes on the clock here, Zach. We're probably going to get one more at a push. Not a bad opening race for season 3.
No, not at all. If this is what we're in for, not only for, obviously, race 2, but the rest of the season, then I'm going to quite happily take this on. Of course, touring cars is always fun. I do love sort of the slower front-wheel drive cars, touring. I suppose touring cars are fast front-wheel drive cars, but sort of in that vein, front-wheel drive cars. In terms of racing, obviously the touring cars, the JPB Clios. I'm doing some KA's commentary tomorrow, which is going to be a lot of fun. So just that vein of racing, it just always appeals to me. Hate driving them, cannot get to grips with a front-wheel drive car whatsoever. But my oh my, do they put on a show?
You know, if somebody said something to me once, I think it was actually Craig Jones, who by today was at my house today, popped up with his lovely wife Gemma, and Craig always said to me, and he's always said the same thing: the slower the car, the better the racing. Now, I thought Craig was crazy. So today I did something, right? I got my son's steering wheel, I strapped it onto the desk, and off I went in a Ray FF 1600 around Summit Point. And you know what? That was absolutely great fun to drive. That car sticks like, well, you can finish the rest of the sentence yourself. It was amazing. I had a great time. And maybe he's right. Maybe the slower car is the better racing.
I think it's a balance more than anything. I dislike Formula One racing to sort of watch, especially sort of on the sim, because it's a very niche thing. But because everyone is already so on the limit, every car is braking the exact same point and chucking so much speed into every corner, you just can't race because every overtaking opportunity is taken flat out in Formula One. Whereas if you go into a touring car or a radical or sort of a, that sort of vein, Mini Cooper racing or things like that, generic road cars that have been souped up, even to an extent GT3s put on some amazing racing. From sort of GT3 speed downwards, you can have some really, really fun, enjoyable, passionate racing because every corner is fair game. Every corner is a corner in these cars, even kinks, even turn 2 at the Redbull ring. In some cars, you have to do ever so slightly take a slight lift just to get it to stay on the track. Is a small mistake, a change for the lead.
Yeah, Dan Mold's he's been chasing down Adam Dalmont for pretty much the last lap. There was a 1.8 second gap at one point. Dalmont's going to have the outside now for turn 4 on the final lap of the race. Mold's got to give him room here. Dalmont says, you've got to let me have it. Dalmont's now lost that position on the final lap again. And how many more times do we have to say this about Adam Dalmont? We said it in the Clios. We're saying it in the TCRs. He needs to do something about his last lap. He needs to do something about his last few laps because he keeps losing. Oh, that's one way. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is not a good way of doing that. Now Mold's trying to come back on track. He's now come back on in front of Nick Kirstens. And that Peoples is going to be Peoples is going to get through on Mold. Last lap drama. Last lap drama. We said he needed to do something. I don't think he needed to do that.
Well, at least he's not finishing second. At least there's that. There's something. But Nick Kirstens, Dan Peoples and McNally, they were fighting for the scraps of the podium, and now they make it. Oh, Dan Peoples!
Oh, no! Peoples is going to get it! Peoples is going to get it here, Zach. He's got to hold it for the last few bits. He's going to lock it up. Dan Peoples, is he going to be your winner? Is he going to be the opening and winner of the season? He's only got one more corner to go. The Dutchman has gone from 4th to 1st. He is up 6 places. It's gonna be Peoples across the line. Peoples takes the victory. Oh my God, we were not expecting that, Zach. That was awesome.
That was the last lap. There we were, just settling into a nice conversation because the race had died down a little bit, and then bang, just a match lit and the fuse popped. Better played to Dan Peoples. I mean, was he the quickest driver of that race?
No.
Was he there when he needed to be? Absolutely. That's all you need. Sometimes you just need a little bit of luck, and sometimes you just get that little bit of luck. Amazing.
Wow.
Dan. And yeah, fair enough.
That was literally insane, and it started here. This is where it all kicked off. You can see they're coming. Dan Mold's gone. Oh! The thing for Dan Mold is this. I don't know if... Oh! We go over to the session. Rats. Should he have come back on track, though, Zach? Should he have come back on track? That's the question. Was there enough room for him to come and put that car in front? Here's the results. Dan Peebles is your winner, your first AM overall winner, and an absolute stellar job from him. Adam McNally is in second place with Nick Kirstens in third. Damo does manage to hold on to fourth there. Kim Andre Bjortland in fifth, and Stephen Van Kampen in sixth. Kev Aylett in seventh, and Deck Craver in eighth. Paddy Faulkner in ninth there with Adam Dalmont behind him. Paolo Brem, John Brown, Fraser Garrity, Chris Barnes and Cooper Akers. Chris van der Linden there in 16th, and Gary McFarlane down in 17th place. Carl Jacklett, Stuart Gibbons rounds out the top 19 there as well. So was Dan Moldo, was he right to come back on track where he did?
Did he have a choice? Was he... I mean, sort of from the human aspect, yeah. I mean, to him, he had gone off track, he had rejoined on the right-hand side, and he did his best. I think it is sort of reminiscent of a Vettel Canada 2019 moment sort of thing, where he didn't really have much of a choice. It was that, or just continue off-road / go into a wall. I don't know.
I don't, brutally honest with you, I have no idea. Personally, I don't know if he probably should have come on where he came on. I think maybe going round the corner a little bit further might have done him some good. But we weren't in the car, so, you know, we weren't part of what was going on with the thought process there either. Yeah, it's a hit and miss. You know, they crashed down into 7 and 8. Could he have come on a little bit further up? I don't know. But for Dan Peebles, he's not sitting there caring where he's come on there, Zach. He's just like, thank you very much. I'll have some of that, and I'll take that victory as the first AM overall.
Yeah. I really do respect that. That is amazing. And again, if we'd called it a lap here, did he deserve that win? No. Did he win it on pace? No. Did he get lucky? Absolutely. But did he make his own luck? Yes, of course he did. Of course he did. It could have been anyone behind Nick Kirstens. It could have been anyone in Nick Kirstens' position initially, then was able to benefit from Dalmont and Mold having their issues. Those two were there. Those two were ready to capitalise on that opportunity. Could have been anyone else in the field that was in third and fourth place, but no, it was them two. And then more importantly, Dan Peebles was there, ready to pick up the pieces as soon as he saw a flaw in Kirsten's driving. On that last lap, the pressure got to him, and Peebles was able to capitalise on it. So, in the moment, not only did he get lucky, he was able to, take that and use it. I mean, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Dan Peebles gulped down the whole lot when it came to the end of that race.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Dan's probably sat in that car right about now, absolutely screaming with excitement. One of the things I think as well is the interesting thing looking at the rooms at the moment. Dan Mold and Adam Dalmont are in the same room. How is that one going to be going down in the they're in the SRL chat there as well. Of course, they're not teammates this year. It's Adam McNally, Adam Dalmont, Dan Mold, John Brown. So there's that competitive streak between them as well. But they're in the same chat. I dread to think what is going on down in the SRL conversations right now.
Well, I mean, it's either dead silent or they're giggling to themselves. I mean, I don't know. It depends, obviously. I would be. If I was, driving with my teammate or driving with a mate and we were fighting and we were enjoying ourselves and we crashed into each other, for a minute, it'd be like, maybe in hindsight, we'd be a little bit annoyed because it's damaged the points or whatever. But if we're getting excited, getting pumped, racing each other and, oh, we're really close, and then we crash into each other, I'd laugh. Of course I would.
Yeah. To be fair, I was laughing in the trucks when we were driving the trucks. To be fair, I was absolutely giggling myself. But then again, I did have a chuckle last time out. I did an oval. I went to do an oval in the IR18 at Daytona, Zach, and I didn't even last a pace lap. Somebody checked up and a car went running over my roof. I ran over the roof of the car in front. I went into the pits and it went too much damage. So great. Didn't even last a pace lap. So you know. Well, here's the grid for round 2. Race 2, sorry, don't forget top 15 reverse. Cooper Akers is out in front with Chris Barnes, Fraser Garrity and John Brown. On row 3 is Paolo Brem and Adam Dalmont. Row 4, Paddy Faulkner and Deck Crowther. Row 5 will be Kev Aylett and Stephen Van Kampen. Row 6, Kim Andre Bjorkland and Dan Mould. There on row 6. On row 7, Nick Kirstens and Adam McNally. On row 8, we've got Dan Peebles, Chris van der Linden, and then in row 9 is Gary McFarlane and Carl Jacklett. Row 10 will be Stuart Gibbons and Scott Malcolm. They're going to bring up the end here for Cooper Akers. Well, an AM on pole, which we knew was roughly going to happen. The lights are going to come on. 20 minutes is going to be going again here, guys. And we are green, green, green. Cooper Akers did not get off the line there whatsoever. He bobbed down like an absolute trooper. Paolo Brem coming through the middle. Chris Barnes trying to take the nose off Fraser Garrity with John Brown in the mix as well. Paolo Brem trying to get a piece as they're coming down into turn 1 now. Is it going to be JB? Is he going to make up 3 places at the beginning? It is. It's JB taking the lead here as well. Can he hold on to this? Can JB come through? Everybody through successfully. Adam Delmont's moved up positions as well. And for Cooper Akers, it looks like he's gone heading backwards here after making a mistake. So unfortunately for Cooper Akers, he's dropped all the way down here. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Oh,
what is gone on?
A lot in a very short amount of time, apparently. We're gonna need to take another look at that. It's absolutely insane, and it's continued because everyone is still very, very close together. That is not the way you want to kickstart race number 2. What was the catalyst? This right here, Jacklett
and McNally.
McNally, I think the natural line of the corner is to the left, and he was going right. So I have to put that more on McNally than Jacklett, in fairness, and that was a big shot as well.
Gibbo, and I think that was down. Was it car number 6 there as well? Or was that? That was part of the Sim Racing Sweden Academy team. 527. That was Chris van der Linden, and also Gibbo making contact there as well. Not an ideal start for some of these cars, but for JB John Brown, well, it's an absolute flyer. But the problem is he's got Adam Delmont sitting up right beside him at the moment as well. So Delmont's going to have a mix. The interesting thing here is not just this battle, it's this run of cars. We've got Chris Barnes, Paolo Brem, Kev Aylett, Dan Mould, Paddy Faulkner, Stephen Van Kampen, Fraser Garrity, Kim Andre Bjorkland, Dan Peebles, McNally, Crowther, Malcolm Akers there as well, all in the mix behind your 2 leaders. So this race is definitely not done here on lap 2 already. John Brown and leading away with Adam Dalmont right behind him. Can JB hang on? That's going to be the question here, Zach. What do we think?
Well, let's find out, shall we? We've got 17.5 minutes for all of those questions to be answered, because we can sit here and make predictions and say, oh yeah, this is what we think is happening. You know, all these amazing years of professionalism that, I mean, yeah, all right, we'll say we've had years of professionalism. Can predict. It's not going to happen like that, though, is it? Because motor racing, each lap is different, each corner is different. These guys are proving it with the entirety of the tower lighting up. There's a huge incident in the back. I think McNally has found himself off into the gravel trap, I think.
Oh, yes. Was this all on Adam McNally's own doing, no? Whoa, that's a miss at the breaking point.
He tried to do a Carl Jacklett and has done a not that.
Yeah, he definitely didn't do that here as well. Kim Andre Bjorkland also looks like a bit of a moment here. Kim Andre Bjorkland as well. Oh, him and Fraser Garrity, I believe that was there for the insignia once more. But Kim Andre Bjorkland does get up and running. However, where he will be. Down Mould now with Kev Aylett and Paddy Faulkner. Chris Barnes in front here with Paolo Brem once more, the Italian holding back. Down Mould, the Englishman as well. So great little battles developing all the way through. We've got 1, 2, well, three packs of cars racing on the left-hand side. You can see you've got the front two, then you've got third all the way down to seventh, and then you've got eighth all the way down into 14th. So some great racing taking place here at the moment, Zach. Some great battles materialising as well. 20 cars on the grid, and boy, oh boy, are these guys putting on a show.
Yeah, they're not shy, are they? See here, right before Dan Mould trying to recover after the bad luck of last race. Goes to the inside of one. He's going to commit to go for both of them as well. He's going to be laying off on the brakes. Look at that, going around the outside as well. Barnes threads the needle through the middle outside line as Dan Mould tries to pick his way through quite nicely. Paolo Brem caught, unfortunately, also side by side in the background. I think Faulkner and Aylett back to the front though, because Delmont and Brown. There is Chris Barnes under attack from Dan Mould, who picks his way through beautifully onto the podium.
Yeah, he does, and he's going to hold that inside line there. Barnes has got nowhere to go at the moment. Kev Aylett battling away with Fraser Garrity, who's trying to escape Dan Peoples, who's got his, I suppose, his E-team competitor in Stephen Van Kampen right behind him here as well. He's trying to hold back Dick Crowther. We've got Scott Malcolm in the mix. We've got Carl Jacklett in the mix as well. Cooper Akers is trying to recover after what can only be an absolute dreadful start for the American. Was on pole position, bogged down, and then, well, he was like an elevator with no brakes at that point. He was just going backwards and backwards and backwards, quicker than he was going forwards here. Carl Jacklett and Scott Malcolm. Now, these guys obviously had their battle last season, but that was in the AMS. We've now got the pro battle developing as well. Jacklett a pro, Malcolm still an AM, and they're still going at it.
Yeah, they, again, these guys, they don't wait for anything. They see a position, they're going to go for it. Of course, Cooper Akers trying to recover after what has not really been a great start to the season. Of course, that pole position now turned into a 14th. He's trying to turn into a 13th, and if he finishes 13th, I think that's very fitting as to the lack of luck that he's had, unfortunately, this evening. But still plenty of racing left to go, and of course, a lot of liberties being used on the exit of the penultimate corner. But look at that, fastest lap time set by Adam Delmont, and he's closing in on John Brown. So I think we're in for a fight for the lead.
Oh, that in a weird way that looked very easy. I don't know if JB pulled up. I don't know if what he did, but that looked very, very easy from the Delmont. But have another look. You can see all of a sudden JB just kind of. Oh, he's on the brakes well early.
Underestimates it, I think.
Yeah.
Delmont, that's what he needs to do in every race. That level of confidence, because it would have been so easy for him to go to the left and then brake at the same time. But no, he trusted where he normally brakes. He knew that he could go around the outside. And I think he was actually preparing for more of a fight. So even, because of that, broke later to try and go around the outside. But then Brown just obviously committed to the inside, and then trying to process so many different things at once, went to the inside and then broke, forgetting obviously that he actually did go over ever so slightly early and undershot the corner. Maybe his intention was to just allow Delmont through, without much of a fight. Maybe his intentions was to defend and he just made a simple mistake. Either way, only he will know. But what it has meant, the consequence of those actions is that Adam Delmont now leads by a fairly sizable margin. However, not stopped anyone else from winning before. Dan Mould only 2.5 seconds off and was still over half the race left to go. Won't count it out.
Oh, me neither. But this is what Kev Aylett sees. He's got Chris Barnes in front of him, and he's got Paolo Brem falling all over the back end of him here as well. For Kev Aylett, he's got a bit of a mission on his hands here once more. There is Paolo Brem as we're going around the final corner. Scruffy there, they're only used to turning left. Says that about Cooper Akers, the American, of course, who ended up unfortunately going backwards quicker than he went forwards. We've got battles all the way down here as well. Kim Andre Bjorklund, as we're on the roof of Bjorklund's car. He's got Akers in front with Malcolm in front of that. So we've got a multinational battle here as well, starting Stephen Van Kampen, who is from the Netherlands. There we got the Englishman of Jacklett, the Scotsman of Malcolm, the American of Akers. Just to top it off, we finished with a Norwegian in Kim Andre Bjorklund behind him. A truly multinational field this season, Dak, and I think that's one of the things that we're going to be absolutely proud of. We've got people all over Europe, all over the world, taking place at the European Tour. is only going to get better coming into the last 10 minutes, and Aylett is trying to get Chris Barnes at the moment. And I've got to give Kev a shout out. He's taken over the admin duties of this TCR League. He's done an absolute stellar job here as well. He's taking it on board. He's done everything, which is absolutely amazing for him, taking some of the pressure off myself, and he's done an absolute stellar job. So great job, and a massive shout out to Kev Aylett there as well. Paolo Brem sitting behind him now, trying to give him a bit of a run for his money as they head down into turn 10 here. Zach, coming into that final 10.
Let's do this side by side. Paolo Brem on the inside of Kev Aylett. That was aggressive. The triple one, of course, forced very wide onto the grass momentarily. And it's allowed Dan Paples to maybe bring himself into contention. It has allowed him ahead. That was a bit naughty, a bit mean, I think.
Was it mean?
Aggressive.
Exactly. Was it mean? That's the problem.
It's far back. Does he reach an apex? Yeah. He does let off the steering ever so slightly. I'd argue that Aylett did deserve a little bit more space than that, because obviously on the trajectory, Paolo Brem was going to the outside of the circuit. Could he have kept it more under control and stayed to the left? Absolutely. So I'd say, yeah, it's Paolo's fault. Does it deserve a penalty though? I wouldn't say so. A slap on the wrist.
And I can't even give it, you can't even give him that. I can just, look, let's be real about it. If Carl Jacklett can send it from an absolute mile away.
But he got it stopped.
Yeah, but he also made contact at the same time. So it could be argued the fact that the contact made stop. But was Paolo Brem in the same situation? Could he have braked a little bit harder and tightened it up? Possibly. But we ain't in the car, mate. So let's just give it what credit there is there for Paolo Brem as an overtake. Little bit of an argy-bargy. Peoples is going to come and do the same now as he goes into turn 7. Obviously your race 1 winner, Dan Peoples, moving up 9 places in race 2 as well. He's doing an absolutely stellar job. He did a stellar job in the GT4s on Wednesday, I believe, as well. So it was absolutely epic, and for Dan Peoples, maybe he's finding a little bit of pace this season. Who knows?
Well, yeah. I think that win in race 1 makes up for his pit lane shenanigans in an F1 car at the Nurburgring. Or does it? Or does it? Yeah, they say, isn't it? It's 5 good things to weigh up 1 bad thing. So, Paples, mate, we need 4 more wins out of you to get that.
Yeah, I think that's unfortunately something people ever going to be forgotten about here as well. Trying to enter the pit lane and completely chuffs it up there as well.
We were nice to him after race 1.
He was. But now he went and stacked it in the wall. So if you haven't watched that back, you can. It was part of the LSRL W12 series at the Hungaroring. I think it was for the last season we've done for them. You can go and watch down, get it completely wrong going into the pits there as well. But we've got Carl Jacklett, Stephen Van Kampen battling away. Jacklett's going to go, and he looks like he was almost going to send it again there. Down into turn 1 on Van Kampen. He's not giving up his Jacklett. He's got Van Kampen there as well. We've also got Paolo Brem and Dan Peoples in front. I think it could have been calculated by Brem, says Scruffy on YouTube. Well, possibly, but see, Carl Jacklett's in race 1. Boy, oh boy, he sent it from miles away.
He did, but again, I'd argue that he got it stopped. Brem didn't.
If me and you ever got through a broadcast without arguing, I would be very surprised. Sweeney.
I know. It is what it is. We clash, but it's good because it showcases the amount of subjectiveness in sim racing. So many different people have so many different opinions. As Scott Malcolm gets overtaken by Kimandre Bjorklund on the inside of 10, 6, and 7, as I think having a bit of a look as Van Kampen on Carl Jacklett. I don't know if he's going to commit. He is. That's over-committing. He's held it, front-wheel drive save. All you need to do in these cars is completely floor it, and the car saves itself as he rejoins, of course, only in 15th place. Could have been worse, but it makes it look cool.
Yeah, it did. Jacklett starts the argy-bargy off again by coming a long way back. Van Kampen thinks he's going to stay, right? I'm going to give Van Kampen a little bit of credit there. I would have thought Jacklett would have stayed, and then Van Kampen tries to come at Jacklett once more. Jacklett looks like he was almost on the ragged edge there. Kampen over the curbs, doesn't bring it in now going into 9. He does. Was there more room to have though, Zach? That's going to be the question. Was there more room to have from Van Kampen, or did he not deserve room because he was not alongside?
Turn 9 is always a difficult one. But I'm sort of eating my words there, because earlier I said that TCRs can do it everywhere. That's wide, by the way, just in behind. I think that's Paolo Brem. But yeah, it's touch and go, really. I think more could have been done by both, and could have been avoided. But in the end, it was, of course, it was Van Kampen that went for the move, and it was Van Kampen that was on the worst end of the stick after that move. So the punishment's been dished out itself. The natural order of things have been dished out themselves. So I don't really see much issue in it, and we can truck along with the final 5.5 minutes of this race.
We definitely can here as well, and I think we can safely say it's been an opening round that we will remember. It's been some epic scrapping all the way through. Dan Peebles, the AM winner in race 1. He's now battling with Chris Barnes. He looks like he's almost attached to Barnesy here. Barnes has got to get his defensive elbows out. This is the AM fight. This is where I'm expecting the AM fight to come from, with Chris Barnes and Dan Peebles, and even Paolo Brem and Kev Aylett as well. So I don't think there's any... Oh! Dan Peebles there went in so hot. Now he's under attack from Paolo Brem. He's got a little bit of a slide. Was there contact? Absolutely. And Dan Peebles now, after making that one mistake, Zach, finds himself down a little bit further away from Chris Barnes.
Yeah, but still doable. Unfortunately, if he gets roped into a battle with Paolo Brem, it's not really going to be helping his case whatsoever. So he's going to need to struggle off as soon as possible and into the pit lane. Can he make it? Wow, he's done it.
Do you know what that is?
In speeds.
Ah, that's a drive-through.
Oh, yeah. Incident
It's
points.
incidents of 17. Now, that has jeopardised him there, Zach, as well. He's going all the way down. All the way down. Peebles does come out, but he's 7th in class, 16th overall. A little bit too aggressive from Dan Peebles. Was that excitement of being in the TCRs for the first time? Possibly.
I mean, incident limit management is everywhere. I mean, you'll see it. If you're at the end of the race and you're on 5 incident points and the limit's 17, you'll see drivers use more of the track. You'll see drivers be a little bit more edgy-budgy because they know they've got it in the bank. They've banked those incident points as such. If you're at the end of the race and you've got 2 left to go, that is a huge send to the inside. Paolo Brem getting very, very naughty with Kev Aylett, who I'm sure is not going to be very happy with the overtaking standards that's been showcased by the Italian. He's, of course, going to try and attack back going into the chicane, but not quite able to. A little bit wide from the 27, provokes a bit more side-by-side action between the pair of them. The 111 tries to go the long way around. He is going to swoop his way through, slightly less contact between the pair of them. Nicely done from Kev Aylett. Now he's got to keep his footing on the inside of turn number 10, but Paolo Brem is very aggressive today.
Well, not gonna lie, he is Italian. You know, he does put the aggression out there if need be. You know what I mean?
Flamboyancy.
Yeah, that's the one. And have you not seen him speak? I mean, if you tie their hands up, you get a muted Italian. Easy. But there you go. That's my philosophy on it. Because have you not seen an Italian speak? No.
What, with the hand gestures?
Yeah, they talk so violently with their hands, as Kim Andre Bjortland and Adam McNally are going at it around the final corner here as well. They talk so with their hands and aggressively with their hands that if you tie them up, they can't speak.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do. Everyone speaks with their hands. Eminem.
They go at it. They go at it. Just casual racism. No, it's not. I'm not being racist. How am I being racist? Can't be racist by making an observation that the Italian will talk with his hand. Fairly obvious. I'm not a racist. Put that out there, Jesus. That will absolutely kill me. You put it out on social media, I will be dead. What are you doing? Are you doing exercise, Mr. Sweeney, or something?
Digging your hole, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate. That was very far from racism there as well. Terrible. You get me in trouble with the broadcasting community, or I don't know. Do we have a committee? Do we have a union? I don't know.
The semis.
Well, neither of us did well in that one, so unfortunately, you know what I mean? We did take the victory again, Mr.
Well, no, you failed again. I failed for the first time. So it's fine.
Well, there you go. What could I say? But I did predict that last year, if I remember correctly.
What did you lose again?
No, I did, to be honest with you, Zach, I wasn't even like interested in this year. I think I've spoken about it. Let's move on and get back to Kev Aylett and Paolo Brem. Aylett has made a drastic mistake. No, unfortunately, that's allowed Paolo Brem through. Fraser Garrity, Paolo Brem then makes a mistake and goes back behind Kev Aylett. So nobody wants this position between Kev Aylett and Paolo Brem. Oh, Bjorklund and Paolo Brem. Italians in the wars again. Unfortunately there as well. Deck Crowther now going to have a go with Fraser Garrity, and Garrity has got Crowther's got Jackalip for company, of course, here as well. Crowther is the am in between the pro bread and is now got to see what he can do. Crowther and Jackalip went at it last season in the hams, of course. They're now going at it as a pro and an am. Let's see how this one pans out. Jackalip's looking down the inside of turn one. This is the final lap of the race. Crowther's trying to give him room, but Jackalip's going to go and take this position away. Lock up the inside. He did do that as well. An absolute stellar job. Now Kev Aylett's on the way through as well as he comes around turn three. Takes the outside line. Not going to make it through this time. Adam McNally on his way back through, up 4 positions as well. This little 5-car battle is going to go straight to the end here, Zach, as I think the big front pros of Delmont, Mould and Brown are going to be the 1, 2, 3.
I think so, unless something completely drastic happens, but fair play to them. They've driven a phenomenally good race. Nice to see John Brown, of course, having just a little bit of luck, and I think that's why we've not seen as aggressive of a driver. He's trying to consolidate some points after the woes of race 1, and a P3 is definitely a very good way to do that. But Adam Delmont, Dan Mould, 1 apiece going forward in this season. Should be a mighty championship battle between the two.
Yeah, absolutely here as well. Delmont is coming round up round turn 11. We'll pick him up very, very shortly as this battle does loom on. Michael Sill there. Where are the big crashes? There hasn't really been many here. There's been one major one. That was a little bit earlier on in this race, but Anna McNally trying to go up the inside of Crowther, Garrity and Jackalip still going at it in front, but here comes Adam Delmont. He's going to come over the line. He's going to take the victory in race 2. An absolutely stellar job from him. He comes over the line, takes that victory there as well, and what a run there from Damold and John Brown with Paddy Faulkner right behind him. Now we're going to have Chris Barnes is going to take the AM win here one as well, so great job from Barnes. Jacklit's going to manage to hold on to 5th overall. There's going to be a run to the line from Crowther with Aylett, with everybody else. They're all going to come along over the line together. It is going to be Carl Jacklin, it is going to be Gary McNally, Crowther, Aylett, Andre Bjorklund and Scott Malcolm bringing up the rear. Cooper Akers comes over the line as well, but a great job from Chris Barnes wrapping up the victory in the AMs. That's 2 different winners in the AMs, 2 different winners in the pros, and I think this could be a theme of the season here, Zach.
Well, we can certainly hope. A long way to go, of course, but I think today has proved a lot of potential. Of course, Catalunya, not everyone's favourite circuit for racing, so if we've kicked the season off and this is a circuit that's not very good for racing, you wait for the next 10 weeks of circuits of the Redbull Ring, for example, the racing that we're going to get over in Austria. It's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to watch it.
It definitely is here as well. We're just waiting for the last 2 to come over the line. Nick Kirstens and Stuart Gibbons. So let's get them as well. We've got a couple of interviews waiting already of Dan Peebles and Cooper Akers. We'll catch up with them very, very shortly. But let's see the last guys over the line before we bring you up the final results. Here comes Nick Kirstens. Here comes Stuart Gibbons. Great job from them guys there as well. Right. The results for the final race here, the second race of the evening, the final race of the evening. Adam Delmont is your winner with Dan Mould in 2nd and John Brown in 3rd. Paddy Faulkner in 4th there as well for the pros. Chris Barnes wraps up the AM victory with Carl Jackalip, Fraser Garrity and Adam McNally behind him. Crowther and Aylett are your 2nd and 3rd in the AMs. Kim Andre Bjorklund in 11th place with Scott Malcolm in 12th. Stephen Van Kampen 13th. Cooper Akers 14th. Dan Peebles 15th. Chris van der Linden in 16th. And then we've got Nick Kirstens behind that. Stuart Gibbons, Paolo Brem, and then we finish off with Gary McFarlane. Ireland there as well. Great job from everybody there, Zach. Look forward to how it goes over on to the next race as well. It's going to be absolutely epic. We'll get some people in the booth here as well, and a stellar job all round from everyone.
Yeah, really was, and should be a lot of fun in order to see ourselves into the sort of into the next rounds, getting a word and how they feel after the first round of the season.
Absolutely. So a stellar job from all of these guys as well. Absolutely interesting one it's going to be, one that's going to absolutely, I think this season is going to be incredible. I really do. I think it's one that we're going to be looking out for, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Where do we start? I tell you what, let's start off here, bringing the man who took the victory in race 1 as an AM. We had high hopes for him in race 2. He then goes and gets a drive-through. He then ends up dropping down the order. Well, he did come back through the field as well and did an absolutely stellar job right up until his drive-through. But that is Dan Peoples here as well. Dan, welcome into the booth there, sir. How are you?
Good. Sounds like a hell of an evening, eh?
Well, it's a roller coaster for you, sir, wasn't it? It was victory in race 1. Let's have a chat about that. Did you feel lucky?
Yes, extremely lucky. Of course, we got lucky the contact happened. There's talks to have about the rejoin afterwards. My teammate did get taken out, but of course, these things happen. No hard feelings from both sides. They both had a chat about it. He apologized. These things happen. But yeah, that gave me the win.
Yeah, it definitely did. And then you went high hopes for race 2. Was you driving a little bit more aggressively than you needed to be, do you think?
I think I was actually too cautious, James, especially at the start. I got tapped in the rear quite a couple of times. Then Steven got damaged, so I was in quite a difficult spot. I didn't want to absolutely dive him because, of course, he is part of the same team. You know, the first rule in racing is never crash your teammate. So I was in quite a tough spot. But yeah, in the end, the 4X that I got before I got the drive-through, I don't know who it was with. Can't remember anymore. But that killed me. That killed the race.
Yeah, it definitely did there as well. Going forward, though, Dan, any tracks that you're really looking forward to, you're really excited about?
I think they're all good tracks for this car. I love the car. I've always had a soft spot for the TCRs. I love the Audi. I drove the Audi. It's not my car. That's why I went for the Honda. And it sounds absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all the races basically.
Yeah, it should be absolutely epic there as well. Well, Dan, thanks so much for joining us in the booth there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
I want to shout out my teammates and the team. We've been in quite the roller coaster. I don't know if the people remember in the GT4s. I think about a week ago we were Benelux Esports. We've had a fusion now with Simray Sweden Esports, and we are now a professional esports team. So it's been quite the roller coaster. But I want to shout out everyone in the team for their help with that.
Awesome stuff. Well, Dan, thanks so much there, buddy, and look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for the GT4s.
Thank you very much.
All right, and next up here as well, we're going to bring in the American, that is Cooper Akers. He finished 15th in race 1. He had pole position for race 2, and unfortunately bogged down at the start, went backwards very quickly there as well. But let's bring him in, see what happened here as well. Cooper, welcome into the booth there, sir. How are you?
I'm good. That was interesting.
How did you find it?
For a first league race, yeah, that was a interesting experience. Good racing from all, and yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, pole position. Did you sit there and have a panic on at that point?
I'm not used to doing these kinds of starts. I'm used to rolling. This is like one of my first rolling starts in like a year, and I had my clutch wrong. And again, and it's also new cars to me, so could have gone better, but you know.
Yeah, you've got 9 rounds to try and work out and get it right there, buddy. What is your kind of, as you say, your first league race? What's the aim for you this season? What are we looking at from Cooper? Are we looking at a learning season, and then maybe next season you're going to come back and challenge? Or are you going to be going challenging straight off? What's the thought process for you?
This is going to be more of a learning season for me because, again, this first league, I want to go out storming the gate. I'm not Lewis or any of those amazing drivers. I'm just going to try and keep it fair on track and see what it's like, and eventually try and go a bit faster, but not a championship right now.
Oh, awesome stuff. You did a great job for your first time out there, Cooper. Thanks so much for joining us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
No, I'm good.
Awesome stuff. Well, take care there, buddy, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, thank you.
Right, let's have a chat with Carl Jacklett, your last season's AM Championship champion. He was promoted up to pros. How did he find it on his first time out as a pro? Well, let's bring him into the booth and find out. Carl, welcome into you, sir. How are you?
Good evening, gentlemen. Yeah, I'm very good. Very good indeed. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
How did you find it, dear sir?
Sorry, say again.
How did you find your battling with in that pro position that you are in now?
Yeah, that was okay. Just didn't give them any space that I normally do. But saying that, I tried not to put myself into places that I'd end up flying off the track as well.
Yeah, we did.
Mostly worked.
It mostly worked. We did see an epic send going down into, I think it was turn 10. Yeah. You come from
that
miles.
Wasn't it?
Was it on purpose?
Wasn't it?
Zach said it wasn't on purpose.
It was sort of on purpose because the car in front was braking quite early for that corner on the previous laps. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to send it a bit. And there was someone else behind me as well, can't remember who it was, who was also sending it. But yeah, that was, I just shut my eyes. Put my foot on the brake to see what happened. But yeah, it was a great pass, really great pass.
It was, we caught it on the broadcast there as well. I told you Zachy meant it. Still live, Zach. Zach, are you still here?
Fair enough. No, of course I am. Of course I am. I always listen to the interviews. Yeah, fair enough. I just assumed it would be intentional.
Yeah, I mean,
fair enough.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Taking two cars at the same time. Who knows?
Well, you could have only taken one.
The technique that I've used before is is if you're going to do a send like that and it's failing, is come off the brake.
Oh.
And then you'll go in front of them and go wide without taking them off or yourself off.
Well, whatever your thought process was there, sir, it definitely worked for you. Carl, what are we aiming for this season? We wasn't expecting a championship last season. We took it. What are we aiming for this season?
Consistency. Increased pace. The last race, the pace looked pretty good. I went 19th to 6th. Was catching some people who are generally faster than me. In race 1 as well, I had an epic run with Fraser. I think we did the last 4 or 5 corners side by side.
Yes.
If you drive like that and give people respect and space, you will get those consistent results. If you drive like a
out of hell.
Yeah, if you only think about yourself and only going to go for the passes, you're not going to finish races, and you're not going to get anywhere by not finishing races. And all you'll do is upset people who will generally work towards pissing you off in the later races.
And we'll ignore the language. Thank you very much, Carl, as well. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go, bud?
There was, but I've forgotten who it was.
Oh, okay, mate.
I have ADHD, I forget.
All right, bud. Well, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy. And I look forward to catching up with you as the season goes.
Yeah, it's going to be good one.
It definitely is.
Looking forward to it.
Take care, mate.
Looking forward to it. Ciao, ciao.
Right, and next up, we'll bring in for a quick chat there as well as Scott Malcolm, who obviously this season is battling away still in the AM. Scott, welcome in there, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you guys?
I'm very well, thank you very much there, sir. It's been an absolutely epic evening of racing. How was it for you?
First race was eventful. Well, it was non-eventful. I was at the back, so forget about that. Second race, not bad. Some of the new arms are they're fast. They're very fast and very hard to get by or even catch. Like I'm still looking for a new name for the league. Or maybe to just call it the Civic Cup.
It definitely is, yeah. Very Honda driven this season for there as well. Scott, what's the aim for you this season? Are you going to go out and challenge for this damn championship or what?
Looking at some of the drivers, I don't think I will be challenged, but I will certainly be giving my best shot.
Well, that's all we can ask for, Scott, as well. Thank you so much for joining us there, buddy, as well. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, I just got to be the usual crowd to you guys for doing the commentary and for keeping the league going, all the drivers for turning up, and that was about it.
Oh, well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us there, bud. And look forward to having a chat with you as the season goes on.
Yeah. You're no doubt here for me.
Take care, mate.
See ya.
Right, and now we're going to bring in Adam McNally into the booth. He's had a win in race 1. He had...
No, second.
Was it?
Second, yeah.
No, in the pros.
Oh, right, sorry.
Oh,
I thought you meant overall.
Mate,
Sorry.
that's it. It's gone now.
My bad.
My great entrance has gone out the window now, but because it was in the pros. So
After the second race, I saw how my night went anyway, so it pretty much sums it up.
yeah, but it was a good night overall. Took the win in the pros in race 1, you know, and then race 2, you still gained 6 positions. It's not a bad night's racing, is it?
I know, but I think I killed 2 people and nearly killed another 2 when I lost the coming into the hairpin. And the only thing I could do was really try and look for the best gap possible and hope I didn't hit no one.
Yeah, how did that work out for you, Adam?
50-50.
50-50? Well, mate, you tried your best. That's all that matters, wasn't it? You know what I mean? You're teamed up with Mr. Adam Dalmont this season as well. Strong teaming. Are you going for the team's championship? Do you think you can take it?
Well, he maybe is able to drag us along to it, possibly, yes. If I maybe pull my finger out a bit more.
Well,
to be fair, it's been good racing, and hopefully I can, like I said, get somewhere with him and help him push for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you will. I think you'll do a stellar job, mate. I think, you know what I mean, you had that win in the pros in race 1. I think you can still do more in race 2 with a little bit more of luck. As we know, luck plays a massive part in sim racing. But I can see you helping along and helping you and Adam get to the team championships.
Like I said, hopefully we can, especially with Delmont's pace. If I get on a bit more practice on room, maybe learn a few tricks on the car and stop that heavy left foot when it comes to braking on the first lap or 2, and we should get somewhere.
Awesome stuff. Well, Adam, thank you so much for joining us there, bud. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Just the usual, you guys for doing the broadcast and everyone that sets it up behind the scenes and everyone that turns up and takes part and makes it what it is. Because without other drivers, it's a bit boring.
Definitely. But we wouldn't be anything. We'd be staring at an empty track. But an awesome job from you, mate. Thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to having a chat with you as the season goes on.
Right, cheers.
Right, next up is the man that took the win in race 2 in the pros and the win overall. He had a very eventful final lap in race 1. His Achilles heel of holding on to the final lap nearly come back and bit him in the bottom. But let's have a chat with him after he made contact with Dan Mulder in race 1 there as well. Adam, welcome into the booth there, sir. How are you?
Good evening, chaps. Happy New Year. I'm good, thank you. And you?
Happy New Year to you, dear sir. I am very well, thank you so much. Come on, then. Come on, we got to have a conversation about it. Right, first off, again, Mr. Delmont, you were overtaken on the final lap. What is going on with that final lap?
No, do you know what? Race 1, me and Dan obviously managed to gap everyone by quite an amount. And at one point, Dan picked up a slowdown halfway through the race. And at first, I was like, no, I'm not waiting. No, get knotted. And then after a few laps, it were like, right, do you know what? It's getting a little bit. It's just going to be a long race doing this. So we kind of agreed. I'd just slow it off a little bit, get him back with me, so we could have a bit of a tussle and a bit of a mess around. But he was never going to try and actually take the win. And Oh, 1 second before. He was never going to actually try and take the win. We were just having a mess. And I don't know if you picked up on the broadcast, but it was actually a massive dose of netcode.
Yep.
We were talking, just going side by side. And yeah, I think there was about half a foot of air between us. And all of a sudden we just stuck together and it pushed us off. And obviously I came off worse off. I had massive damage. So, but you know, it's only race 1. Pace is there, mate. Qualified pole. Would have taken the race in, you know, the race win in the first one, and you know, second one got through pretty quickly, pretty nicely, and just just kept it consistent and just ploughed on. So picked up where I seemed to have left off. So overall, mate, I'm an happy chappy. We're only a bit of netcode. These things happen.
Yeah, it definitely does. Now, obviously, we had a chat with Adam and Ali. You know, 2 Adams. Do they make a team win? Do they make the team championship win?
Well, if we can steadily and slowly but surely stop Adam crashing into people, his pace is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said to him, funny enough. You know, he did say that he was obviously going to jump in practice more with you and get some more tricks. And I just said to him, get a little bit more luck, mate. That might be it. And you know, you should be all right. I think Adam's got the pace. I really do. I reckon JP's going to be up there this year as well. That's my pick.
Do you know what? Honestly, Adam is actually genuinely really fast, and he used to be really fast, but Adam's had a substantial amount of time where he's just not been as motivated with his rig. So he's trying to, you know, do that thing of persuading yourself to get a bit more back into it.
Yeah.
But when he gets it and he's back on it, Adam's quick. He is very quick.
Yeah.
He's just got to get more seat time in under him again, and you know, stop watching so much football nowadays.
Yeah, but it is a footy season. Now, listen, I want to ask you a question. Are we going to see Adam Delmont TCR champion?
Well, it happened last season, didn't it? So, you know, it'd be rude not to just presume that it's going to happen again. No, I'm only joking. There's obviously quick guys. I'll be going for it. And, you know, it's been a good start to the night. I think, you know, without any netcode, I'd have maxed on points. So, yeah, we'll just keep pushing. Dan's going to be quick. He always is. So, you know, Dan's going to be hard. But, you know, just consistently keep going and trying to push Civic as I normally do and see where we end up towards the end.
Well, awesome stuff there, fella. Thank you so much for joining me. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, you guys for obviously broadcasts, all the admin in the background that sort all these things out for us. Next Gen, SRL, and all the drivers and associated sponsors with us. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear sir, and I look forward to having a chat with you as we return in Leo's on Monday.
Yes, you will. Good night, sir.
Take care, bud. Next up, we will have a chat, our final interview of the evening. He took a second in the AMS in race 1. He's taken a third in the AMS in race 2. He's taken on the TCR League for me. He gave me a massive hand when I needed it the most. Let's bring him into the booth and have a chat with the superstar that is Kev Ailick. Kev, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
Very well, James. Thank you very much. That was a nice fun night, wasn't it?
It was good. I enjoyed that, mate. I think it went off with a bang. Great racing.
Oh, there's many bangs in the race, I'll tell you that much.
There definitely was, yes, sir. There definitely was some interesting bangs. But that's TCRs, right? That's what we expect.
Absolutely. There's door to door, it's side to side. It's, you know, it's always something. If it's not close racing, it's not TCRs. And I think, generally speaking, it looked pretty fair from what I saw where I was on the track as well. Yeah, one may be a bit questionable, but that's life. But yeah, no, it was pretty awesome. It seemed like everyone had fun as well. I think that's the important thing. You know, it was not a massive grid. 20 cars? In the
20
end?
cars, yeah. 20
cars, yeah. It's a good number, to be honest. You're not all fighting for the smallest bit of real estate. And I think I was looking in the rearview mirror and there's cars 4 wide on the first race. I was like, what is going on back there? Yeah. Everyone survived. So it sounded pretty awesome.
Yeah, it definitely was. And they were going 3 wide at one point around turn 1 until Carl Jacqueline decided enough was enough and backed out. I do want to have a chat with you. Now, I picked up on something that you said there as well, a questionable overtake. Would that have anything to do with a Mr. Italian that is Paolo Brem that absolutely sent it on you twice?
Twice.
And gave you a little bit of a bump on the way through?
It happens. It's toy cars. You know, he kept it on the road. He might have used me as a brake, but I didn't come out any damage or anything like that. You know, you've got to be aggressive sometimes to make the move. He was quick. I think he had the overall pace on me, so he knew he had to get past me one way or another. You know, it's not something I don't cry about that kind of stuff. You know, if it punted me into the gravel, yeah, maybe. But you know, he was aggressive. I don't mind aggressiveness. You know where you stand. That's the important thing of him. So yeah, I can live with it.
So the basic answer is yes, he did.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I gave you a little nudge.
You've got to be aggressive. You know, at the end of the day, you know, if you're not being aggressive and you want to win, why are you trying to turn up? Basically, you know, as long as you're fair. And I think he was on the borderline fair, but that's life. You know, you've got to be racing on the limits. You know, I know a few Italian drivers, as you reference, who race aggressively but fair as well. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, buddy, it's been an absolutely epic roller coaster getting this on here as well. Just obviously, thank you so much for taking it on and getting it onto the track and getting it up and running. What do we expect from this season?
Survival. I'm running solo this year, so we are giving up the team. Just Average Sim Racers giving up the team championship in the AMS after 2 back-to-backs. So let's give someone else some more airtime as well. All I want for the season is a successful season for everybody. Seeing everyone enjoy that first race was actually really good. Made me really happy. And I think, you know, we will hopefully gain some more people to come back in as well as the season progresses. By the sounds of it, everyone was raving about the broadcast in my chat on my stream. So that's always a good thing. So we'll get it out there. And we'll knock up a little, get a highlights thing with the best bits of the race, and you know, we can share that wherever we need to share it as well. So yeah, so let's take it on bigger and better.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us there, buddy. And I'll probably have a chat with you tomorrow.
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely,
all right, mate.
pal.
Take care.
Take it easy. Ta-ra.
Well, there you go, Zach. A very successful evening. A very happy bunch of drivers. Not a bad start to the season at all.
By no means, yeah. What a way to kickstart, you know, things off. Everyone seems happy. Everyone seems raring to go, motivated. Looking forward to the season ahead. Equally, sort of from our perspective, I think we most certainly are looking forward to each and every single round that comes after this one, because as far as season openers go, I don't think we did a bad job.
Definitely didn't there as well. So that's going to bring the broadcast to an end. Thank you so much for joining us once more. We look forward to more racing coming up over the weekend. We've got the opening round of the IGP Fun F3s kicking off, and then of course we go into what can only be described as a very, very busy month here on the JPB YouTube channel. We've got the return of the Radical Race Series. They're going from Tsukuba next Thursday, my favourite racetrack. Join in for that one. Well, second behind Interlagos. Evolution's GT3 kicks off as well. They're back after their Christmas break. The UK Sim Racers are back on a Tuesday nights. We've got the Triple Bypass back with their Xfinity Championship and their GTP and GT3 Championship next Friday night as well. iFormula returns for their Super Formula Round 1 Championship from Silverstone. Then, of course, we've got Racers Elite, the F3s, and then the IGPs next week. So tune in next week. It's going to be a very, very busy. For myself, up here in the booth, I've been James Parfitt alongside Zach Sweeney. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit the like, subscribe, and turn on the bells. But for now, guys, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.